All right, this is DB talking now. DB talking birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. We have a ton to talk about. The Philadelphia Eagles obviously played the New York Giants in Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia on Thursday night, and they looked absolutely awful. They looked absolutely awful. Well, at least the defense did. There's gonna be there's plenty of talking points. I think honestly, you know, let's just go ahead and start off with the fact that the New York Giants immediately came out and dominated, and they got a 14-3 lead. That's something that should have never happened. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not surprised that this game played out the way that it did. I was a little bit surprised, at the end result. As far as the end result is concerned, I was surprised as to like how many points and how many points the Giants put up and how little points the Eagles put up. But here's the one thing that I knew, and I think that a lot of members from the Philadelphia media were kind of overlooking leading up to this game is that this Giants team has had a lot of energy since their quarterback came into the starting lineup. A lot of energy since they entered Cam Scatabo into the starting lineup at running back, and so this wasn't a game that I was looking at lightly. This wasn't a game that I was like, okay, this is a get right game for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a game where I was like, these young rookies for the New York Giants bring a lot to that locker room. They bring a lot to that team. They're bringing a lot of energy. They're bringing a lot of faith. They're bringing a lot of hope. And that all showed. It all showed on Thursday night. I was a huge fan of Cam Scatabo coming out of college. He came out of Arizona State. I grew up in Arizona, so I don't necessarily follow ASU football, but I knew about Cam Scatabo. This was a guy who was at one point considered to possibly be an early second rounder. And he just ended up falling to the 6th or 7th round, I think it was, for the New York Giants to take him. And honestly, my honest opinion, fucking hate that. I fucking hate it. The Eagles needed Cam Scatabo before they needed AJ Dillon. To be completely honest with you, like if Cam Scatabo was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 5th round, I would be okay with it. What is our 5th round pick doing right now? What is our 5th round pick doing? Who was our 5th round pick? Was it Antoine Pell-Ryland? Because he's not doing anything. Or was that when we started our run on offensive linemen in the later rounds? That also goes to another point as well, is Howie Roseman failed to retool this team this past offseason. He failed. He took offensive linemen too late in the draft. He didn't resign Mekhi Becton, and he should have. He should have resigned Mekhi Becton. You bring in Brett Toth as a late addition. You have to go back and you have to trade for Fred Johnson because you realize that letting him go was a mistake. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off about this. I'm pissed off about this game. And honestly, I had a feeling. I had a feeling going into this game. I was nervous about this game. I was nervous about this game maybe more than anyone. I knew that Jackson Dart was bringing some fire, and I knew that he was bringing some supreme energy. to that Giants locker room. I knew that Cam Scataba was doing the same exact thing. That's a tandem that is going to be relevant in New York for years to come. Just truth. And the truth of the matter is that Jackson Dart, I saw it a couple weeks ago against the Chargers. The dude does have Josh Allen tendencies. And it took us 2 weeks to figure that out. Now I have plenty of problems. I have issues with Jalen Hurts. I have issues with this offensive line. I have issues with wide receivers for different reasons. I think the only person I don't have an issue with on this team right now is Dallas Goedert. I have an issue with Jalen Carter. I have an issue with Jordan Davis. I have an issue with our edge rushers, obviously. I have issues with our cornerbacks. I have issues with our starting safeties. There is not a position on this team that I don't have issues with except for Dallas Goedert. And that's a problem. Jalen Hurts can't hit the deep ball so far this season. Do I think it's going to get corrected? Well, I certainly hope so. History says it will get corrected. History says Jalen Hurts is like top tier when it comes to the deep ball. So do I think he's just going through a downward? Do I just think he's in a slump right now as far as the deep ball is concerned? Probably. But if he hits A.J. Brown against the Broncos, that's a dagger. If he hits Devontae Smith against the Giants, it's not necessarily a dagger, but it puts us back in the lead. And honestly, people can cry about the Devontae Smith throw that was missed all they want. This defense wasn't stopping anybody. We were going to lose to the Giants regardless. Cam Scataba blew our defense up. They were not ready. They gave up, and they were not ready. And that's a problem. I'll give my honest opinion, honestly, and I'm still pissed off about the game on Thursday, but I don't think we're going to beat the Vikings. I don't think we're going to beat the Vikings. Even if Quinyon comes back, even if Jalen Carter comes back, I don't think we're going to beat the Vikings. You're talking about Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And Carson Wentz. We know Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz can sling a ball if he's reading it right. So I think we're going to go 4-3. And I think we're going to head into the Giants game, the second Giants game, 4-3. And who knows what happens from there? Who knows what happens from there? The Giants are in the process of rebuilding faith in their team. They're in the process of gaining momentum. Honestly, I think if the Giants play the Cowboys again, if you redid that game, the Giants win. And the Giants are what, 2-4 right now? I think they're 3-3 if you replay that Giants-Cowboys game. I really do. I really think that the Giants are actually a good team. And nobody has said that yet. Everybody wants to fucking blame the Eagles. And granted, you should. But I actually think the Giants are in the midst of making something great. And I'll be completely honest with you. I think the Giants are in the midst of building a better offense than they had with Eli Manning and Brandon Jacobs. That's just my truth. That's just my truth. Now let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts started that game on fire. Jalen Hurts was making plays that were absolutely great. I remember a rollout to the right, and like he hit AJ Brown for like a 25-yard pass that was like that was tight window, and it was absolutely phenomenal. He obviously hit AJ Brown along the sideline, which was a great throw in between double coverage. He was hitting Dallas Goedert pretty accurately early and often. The other thing. So I think for the most part, outside of the interception, obviously, which we're all very aware of, where AJ was wide open in the middle of the field in the end zone for a touchdown, and he throws a Jahan Dotson on the inside, which is why it got picked off, which ended any type of comeback that we possibly could have had. Outside of that, and then the missed Devontae for what would have been like a 90-yard touchdown, Jalen Hurts played pretty great. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of Jalen Hurts haters out there right now, but like Jalen Hurts played pretty great. And he's played pretty great throughout the first quarter of the season. And the quarterback is allowed to have bad games. Sorry, he's allowed to have bad games. The Chiefs just lost to the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bills just lost to the New England Patriots. What are we talking about here? And you guys all want to get rid of Jalen Hurts. Like, Jalen Hurts does what he needs to do to win. If he needs to throw for 280 yards, he will. And this brings us to our next point. I think the offense is struggling because we have not been able to establish the ground game. The ground game opens up so much. It opens up like a healthy ground game opens up so much. And I'll call a spade a spade. Tyler Steen is not it at right guard. Tyler Steen is adequate at right guard. He's adequate at right guard, and that's the only position he can play. That's the only position he can play. We need above average play. You want to know what made Mekhi Becton so great? He was a left tackle. He was drafted as a left tackle. And when he came to Philadelphia, we cross-trained him at guard, and he did great at guard. You want to know why he did great at guard? Because he had the arm length of a tackle. He could help out Lane. He could help out Cam. He had the size. He had the size as well, where he could just fucking level people. Tyler Steen doesn't have that. And this offensive line is tired. They're tired. And I've been saying this for weeks. Fred Johnson is a really good, has filled in really well for both Mailata and Lane. Why not try cross-training him at guard? Why not cross-training him at guard? See if it's six. He's the best backup you have. Yeah, his position might be tackle, but he's the best backup you have. It's like going into Madden and like seeing the awareness rating. I think Fred Johnson has the best awareness rating out of Matt Toth, out of whoever the fuck else is behind Tyler Steen. This all goes back to Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman failed to retool the offensive line. He failed to retool the defensive line. He got away from his philosophy. It all starts with the trenches. It all starts with the trenches. Now, granted, am I unhappy with the Jahad Campbell pick? No, of course I'm not. Jahad Campbell's great. I'm glad that we have him on our team, so on and so forth. But, let's be real. Let's be real. Maybe we could have used an offensive lineman. Maybe we could have used a defensive lineman. And again, I'm not in that process. I'm not in the process of like replaying the draft. Like I absolutely loved the Jahad Campbell pick. But how he failed to retool the fucking team. King, welcome to the chat, my man. It's about time that I get a fucking guy in here. I hate this fucking team, man. I think we go down from here. Well, maybe. Or maybe we turn it around. Here's my thing, King. I don't think we're going to beat the Vikings. I think we're going to go 4-3. I think we're going to go 4-3. I just don't see it. Even if Quinyon Mitchell is out there, that's Justin Jefferson on Quinyon Mitchell, and it's Jordan Addison on who? And we know what Carson Wentz can do when he's on point. We know what he can do. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. King says, and I'm okay with that. KP ain't it, man. I'm not entirely on that bandwagon of like blaming Kevin Patullo. I'm really not. I honestly don't think it's Kevin Patullo. I love Jalen Hurts. with all my heart. I think it's partly Jalen Hurts, and I think it's partly Jeff Stoutland. Jeff Stoutland has not done a good job, and I think it comes down to those. I think it comes down to 4 people, and Kevin Patullo is not included. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Howie Roseman, and our offensive line coach, who, by the way, is also our run game coordinator. Like, what do you do? Like, here's the thing. You have the best back in the NFL. I'm sorry. Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFL. He is. But you're not scheming it right. You're not finding ways for him to get through. As soon as they get him rolling, the rest of the NFL is fucked. As soon as they get Saquon rolling, the rest of the NFL is fucked. And you want to know why? Because Jalen can throw the ball. But here's the thing, and this is true for every single NFL team. This is true for every single. If you have a run game, defense, it immediately makes defenses worry. especially in today's day and age, because like you could do an RPO and so on and so forth. But like, what are we talking about? Sorry, I just had some. So I had some burgers earlier, and it's catching up with me right now. Blame my girlfriend. She wanted. We got 2 burgers. Obviously, like I'm a huge fan of the 4x4 at In-N-Out, but we went to a different place in Orange County, and it's called TK Burgers. And so like I got a cheeseburger with 2 extra patties. That's just what I do. That's just what I do. And she got a regular cheeseburger, but then after we were finished, she was like, "I'm still hungry," and so we got another cheeseburger and we split it. And so like it's still in my system. Sorry for the sidetrack. She's the love of my life, so it's hard not to bring her up at some point. King says 4-13 season coming. I don't think we're going to be 4-13. I don't think that is going to be. I don't foresee that. I don't think Jalen would let that happen. I can't speak for Nick. Because honestly, I got to agree with Dan Sileo. I don't know what the fuck he does. I don't know what the fuck Nick Sirianni does. I really don't. Like, I know what Jalen Hurts does. I know what Jalen does. Like, I don't know what. So, like, here's what I see. I could see as bad as 6-11. I could certainly see that. But I also could see 11-6 at the same time. But 11-6 would mean that we would have to be 7-2 or 7-4 over our next 11 games. Truth. King, come back. Where'd you go? Where did you go? I honestly think that all of these issues with the Eagles, I think it starts with the offensive line. I really do. We haven't had a healthy Landon Dickerson. He's been they should have rested him for the first 2-3 games. They fucked up there. In my opinion. I agree with Xander Kraus from Jacob Media. Like, Cam Jerkins is not going to be the same coming back from his back injury or back surgery. Like, this whole offensive line needs to be redone. And as scary as that may sound, like, I think that's where we're at. And it sucks. And I hate it. AJ Brown's not going to get traded. There's the money is just out of this world. It's just not going to. Trading AJ Brown would be like trading a quarterback, and we're not going to do that. Do I see them drafting a quarterback? Yes. You know what I think the Eagles would benefit from is if they were to find a quarterback that was like Josh Allen, who can power run it and then also throw it really, really well. And I'm not talking about Lamar. I'm talking about a Josh Allen. And if there's any type of quarterbacks in this draft that are like Josh Allen, I think that they're going to heavily look into that. I think they're going to heavily look into it. That's the truth. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Let's talk about the defensive line. Well, we've been without Nolan Smith for a couple weeks. Obviously, that's a huge loss. I love Nolan Smith. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to continue to grow and be a great player. Can't wait to get him back. I think we're going to get him back in like a week or two. I also think we need Jalen Carter healthy. Jalen Carter hasn't been healthy all season. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with this team. There's a lot wrong going on with this team. But you know what? I'm 34 years old, right? I've been witness to the Donovan McNabb era. This team is much more consistent in winning games than the Donovan McNabb era has ever produced. Ever. Donovan should have won many more games. Especially when LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson came onto the team. I'm sorry. Especially when T.O. came onto the team. Like, you just had your ego. Here's one thing that Jalen Hurts has done that the other starting quarterbacks in Philadelphia have not done. Jalen Hurts is the only starter in Philadelphia that has won a Super Bowl. He's the only starter that has been to 2 Super Bowls. For Philadelphia. And the only reason why we hate him is because we're Philadelphia Eagles fans. We're impatient. Jalen's allowed to have a bad game. Sorry, he played the first 4 weeks amazing. He carried the team in the first 4 weeks. In week 5, the defense let up. I'm sorry. The defense let up in week 5. You're winning 17-3 in the fourth quarter. I don't care. I don't care if your offense hasn't put up more points than that. The defense needs to fucking shut them down when they need to shut them down, and they didn't do it. This past week against the Giants is the only one that you can blame Jalen Hurts for. And you can't even completely blame Jalen Hurts. This was a complete team loss. Special teams was bad. Defense was bad. Offense was bad. Offense was bad in the second half. I expect this team to get it turned around. You want to know why? Because they have leaders like Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. A.J. Brown is not a leader. He's not a leader. He doesn't know how to lead. Why the captain uh, embroidery thing is fucking on his chest? No idea. Doesn't know how to fucking talk to the media. Doesn't know how to lead. Give it to fucking Devontae Smith. Why has Devontae Smith gotten the fucking captain sigil? Why? AJ Brown ain't it. He's never been it. You know who deserves the leadership? The leadership patch? Devontae. Not AJ. He's never been a leader. My opinion is they gave him that this offseason just so that he would shut the fuck up. But he has not. He has not done that. King says, I'm tired of AJ. I love him, but dude, this shit is getting old. Agreed. Your quarterback is trying to do the best he can to manage his team and manage wins. And you want to go off and you want to fucking say some shit? Like, oh, I don't want to call a meeting. Fuck you, dude. Just say, hey, yeah, we met in the parking lot. It's not hard. The media is not going to fucking not going to make much of that. Yeah, we met in the parking lot. We talked about some shit. God. I fucking hate some of the players on this team. I really do. AJ is starting to become one of them. He's starting to become one of them. And he's fake. He's fake. AJ is fake. I don't know if anybody else has gotten this impression, but I can just tell from every single fucking post-game press conference with AJ Brown, it's just fake bullshit. He does he's not actually tuned in. He's yeah, man. Like Kevin Petula is, he's doing a great job, man. Like he's doing the best he can. Like he's exploring new options. I don't recall. You gotta ask them. Like what? Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Saquon Barkley is the best leader on this team. I understand what that means. Saquon Barkley is the best leader on this team. Better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is right up there. But Saquon Barkley, I believe, is a truly selfless person. And that's why I call him the true leader on this team. And for that shit to happen, that's the only like split second glimmer that I would say AJ Brown might be traded before the trade deadline. Because this motherfucker just said that like he didn't have any talks with this quarterback or his running back, and both players said that they did. Like what? King says like they're the two fucking predictable, and Nick, I'm tired of buddy. That man. No, I think Nick is pissed as well. I like Nick Sirianni as our head coach. I think he's pissed. I don't think it's Nick. I think it's execution. That might sound redundant, but like I think it's execution. And the honest thing is, I think it's execution because I don't think AJ likes playing for this team anymore. Call a spade a spade. Give me 1 second though. I gotta hit the bathroom. But hit me with your questions, please, King. Please, please, please. I see that there's 2 people watching, so whoever that second person is, please like and subscribe. Please hit me with your questions. Please hit me with anything that you would like me to talk about. I'm open to talking about anything, to be completely honest with you. But I will be right back. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds. I am back with you guys. King, thanks for sticking around, dude. King says nothing has changed and AJ ain't making the situation better. No, he's not. No, he's not. I honestly don't know what makes this offensive better. I really don't. I honestly think that we would be better with a healthy offensive line. But I don't know outside of that. Like I don't know if that would suffice. And I certainly don't know what it would look like. Now, you go back to Saquon Barkley's quote, right? Post game after the Giants, and he says, we need to get back into a state of mind where we don't give a fuck what they're running and we just run what we want to. Is that it? That sounds like bully ball. Is that what it is? Is that all that it is? Run the ball 4 straight times with Saquon Barkley? Regardless, you know, the Eagles did something interesting against the New York Giants, and they ran a play where they included Fred Johnson in as a second tight end, and it worked. Why Why not call that more often? Why? You know, like there's just some shit that they do that I just don't understand, and there's just shit that they don't do that I don't understand. Like, it feels like I'm watching the Donovan McNabb Eagles. It really does. The worst, the horrid thing about the Donovan McNabb Eagles, they were inconsistent. Donovan McNabb may have been great. They were fucking inconsistent. They lost games that they were supposed to win, and they won games that they were supposed to lose. But the games that they were supposed to lose were more uncommon than the ones that they were supposed to fucking win. King said it's like being back with Doug or Frank. You know what? It's not, though. With Doug and Frank, we went to the Super Bowl. With Frank as the offense coordinator, like there was Frank had a history with the Chargers and Drew Brees. So like he knew, so like he had a great knowledge of phenomenal passing concepts. And Doug, obviously, like Doug was Doug, you know? You know, I know that there's been a rumor just based off of that fucking press conference or based off of that interview with Dan Sileo that Doug would consider coming back to. He's not coming back to Philadelphia. He's not. And honestly, I don't think Doug coming back to Philadelphia would be a good thing. Like everybody's trying to search for like what could have been. Like, I'm sorry, but Doug wasn't that great. Everybody wants to act like Doug was so great. He wasn't that great. It was Frank Reich. It was Frank Reich that led that offense to the Super Bowl. It wasn't Doug. Sorry, I'm not trying to get heated, but like, it wasn't Doug. It wasn't Doug. It was Frank Reich. It was Frank Reich who led that offense to fucking Super Bowl. Stop acting like Doug Peterson was the fucking Messiah. He wasn't. And he wasn't in Jacksonville. Head coaches can't do well without competent coordinators. None of them. None of them. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah, let's hire Belichick. That's going to solve it. No. God, I'm so I so fucking hate that narrative. Coaches have nothing to do with how the offense performs. Nothing. It's a collaborative effort. Has anybody seen Ted Lasso? Has anybody seen Ted Lasso? It is a collaborative effort every single fucking time. It's not just the head coach. I'm sorry, it's not. You come up with a game plan, the offense coordinator's coming up with shit. The passing game coordinators come up with shit. The run game coordinators come up with shit. The fucking offensive line coaches come up with shit. And they all talk about it. It's not just the head coach. And you all want to act like it is. It's not. It's not. And in this case, Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. It's all those people plus Jalen Hurts. And this trio of offensive minds are not coming up with a fucking sustainable plan. It's that simple. Honestly, I would expect more A.J. Dillon in the fourth quarter. This is what I would expect. Why Saquon Barkley got taken out after those two huge runs, that's fucking mind-boggling. But, you know, who might I say? That should have never happened. Keep Saquon on the field. Keep Saquon. They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out. I know that they are. And I don't know if it's gonna equal the Super Bowl this year, but I think they'll figure it out in a way where maybe they'll reach the NFC Championship. I think that everybody is a little stunned. You think that everybody is a little upset. And I think they'll have a come to Jesus moment, if you will, and really fucking take control. I think this week would be the right time to do that. I think this week would be the right time to do that. If you can lock up Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, I think it would be great for the defense. I think that you have to get Nakobe involved. I don't care how well fucking Jahad Campbell is playing. Nakobe is a veteran. Nakobe is a green dot. Nakobe knows. Nakobe knows. Get Nakobe on the field. I think that was the biggest mistake against the Giants, that they didn't get Nakobe on the field more than they should have. Get Nakobe on the field. He's a green dot player. He's a veteran player. He's a leader of the defense. Get the motherfucker on the field. That, like, honestly, that just aggravated me. It just aggravated me. Nakobe needs to be on the field. Anyway. One love. This is DB talking now. DB talking Birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. I think we're going to turn it around. I think everything's going to be okay. The true path to the season starts now. I will say that. The true path to the season starts now. Peace out. One love. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Peace.